The stars were shining softly over Dreamland, a place that shimmered between clouds and moonlight, where meadows glowed with stardust and rivers sang lullabies as they flowed. In this gentle world, every little creature waited eagerly for tonight, because tonight was very special. It was the very first day of school in Dreamland. At the edge of a silver meadow stood a small cottage with a round door, its windows glowing warmly like lanterns. Inside, a little bear named Ollie was curling his paws around his backpack. It was stitched from soft clouds, with straps that shimmered faintly like strands of moonlight. His fur was golden brown, and his eyes sparkled with both excitement and shyness. He had never been to school before, and though his heart fluttered nervously, he couldn't help but smile. The cottage was filled with calm sounds, the bubbling of a teapot, the whisper of the wind through the curtains. Ollie's grandmother, who had tucked a tiny star-shaped cookie into his bag for comfort, kissed his forehead and said in a soft, soothing voice, "Dreamland School is waiting for you, little one. You'll find friends, gentle teachers, and stories written in the stars themselves." Ollie took a deep breath, his small paws clutching the straps of his bag. He stepped outside, and the night welcomed him with a cool breeze. Fireflies floated in gentle swirls to light the path, and soft clouds rolled at his feet, forming stepping stones toward the glowing building far away, the Dreamland School, and windows twinkled like constellations. As Ollie walked along the cloud path, he passed other children heading the same way. A rabbit with floppy ears carried pencils made of candy canes, a little fox trotted with a satchel bouncing on his back, and a star child with hair that shimmered like silver carried a glowing notebook that looked as though it had been made from moonlight. Each of them smiled at Ollie as they walked side by side, their steps light and quiet, their eyes wide with wonder. The path wound upward, leading them gently toward the school nestled between two tall, glowing trees. Its roof sparkled with dream dust, and above the door hung a sign written in curling golden letters, "Welcome, dreamers." Ollie's paws tingled as he stepped closer. The school looked magical, yet safe and calm, as though it had been waiting for him all along. He felt the softest hum in the air, like the world was singing him forward. And with one final deep breath, the little bear pushed open the starry doors of Dreamland School, ready for his very first day. Ollie stepped carefully through the glowing doors, his little paws pressing into a floor that felt softer than clouds. Inside, the air was filled with the faint scent of honey and lavender, and a gentle hum floated through the room, like a lullaby sung by the walls themselves. The classroom of Dreamland was unlike anything Ollie had ever seen before. The ceiling sparkled with tiny stars that drifted slowly across, as if the whole sky had been invited indoors. The walls shimmered in soft pastel colors, changing gently from blue to pink to silver, like the calm of a sunset fading into night. Rows of cushions were scattered neatly on the floor, each one glowing faintly, waiting for a little dreamer to sit on. Instead of desks, there were round tables shaped like moons, their surfaces dusted with starlight that glimmered when you touched it. Ollie's eyes widened as he hugged his bag a little closer. The rabbit with the candy cane pencils hopped to a cushion and sat down, ears flopping over the table. The fox settled neatly with his satchel beside him, curling his tail around his paws. The star child floated gently to a seat, her silver hair lighting the space around her like a lantern. Everyone looked nervous, but their eyes also sparkled with the excitement of a new adventure. At the front of the room stood their teacher, a tall owl with feathers the color of midnight and eyes that glowed like twin moons. She wore a soft robe woven from silver threads, and her wings tucked neatly around her as she greeted each child. Her voice, when she spoke, was deep and soothing, like the quiet hoot of an owl on a calm night. "Welcome, little dreamers," she said, her tone as warm as a blanket. "This is Dreamland School, a place where we learn about the stars, the clouds, the dreams that make the night glow brighter. You are all safe here. You are all important, and tonight is only the beginning." Ollie felt his chest loosen a little, his nervous flutter calming. He slid onto a glowing cushion, his bag resting beside him. The cushion was so soft it felt like it was hugging him. He glanced at the rabbit next to him, who gave him a shy smile. Ollie smiled back, his tail giving a little wiggle. The owl teacher spread her wings, and with a gentle flap, stars fell from her feathers like tiny sparks. They floated across the classroom, hovering above each child before melting into little shapes, a glowing feather for the rabbit, a silver flame for the fox, a shimmering raindrop for the star child, and for Ollie, a tiny golden paw print that drifted softly onto his cushion. "These are your dream symbols," the teacher explained. "They will guide you as you learn. Each one is unique, just as each of you is unique. Ollie gazed at the golden paw print glowing faintly in front of him. It pulsed warmly, like a heartbeat, filling him with a calm he hadn't felt all morning. His nervousness melted further, replaced by a quiet excitement. The owl smiled, her feathers rustling softly. Now, little dreamers, let us begin. Tonight, we will take our first gentle lesson, to listen to the dreams around us. The classroom grew even quieter, the air holding a calm hush. Ollie leaned forward, his ears twitching, ready to hear what Dreamland would whisper next. The classroom of Dreamland fell into a hush so deep that Ollie could hear the slow, steady rhythm of his own breathing. The owl teacher lifted her wings gently, and the starlight on the ceiling seemed to ripple like water. One by one, the tiny stars above began to drift lower, their glow softening until they hovered just above the little dreamer's cushions. Close your eyes, the teacher said, her voice steady and calming, and listen. Every star carries a dream, and every dream has a voice. Ollie shut his eyes tightly, his little paws folded on his cushion. At first, all he heard was the hush of the room, the faint sigh of the walls shimmering, the slow breaths of his new classmate. But then, a soft sound touched his ears, like a distant hum, faint and comforting. The hum grew into words, not sharp or loud, but soft and flowing, like a story being told by the night itself. The rabbit beside him gasped gently. I hear a dream about a meadow of endless carrots, she whispered with wonder. The fox gave a slow smile, his eyes still closed. Mine whispers of running through clouds, faster than the wind. The star child tilted her head back, her silver hair glowing brighter. Mine sings about floating across the sky, lighting up the dark with silver trails. Ollie held his breath, waiting. Then, gently, the sound reached him too. It was soft at first, almost like the purr of a cat. Then clearer, like the gentle lap of waves. His ears twitched, and he heard it, his dream. It whispered of a great tree made of light, where tiny creatures gathered to share stories, their voices blending like music. And in the dream, Ollie was there too, not watching from far away but sitting with them, his little paw prints glowing as brightly as theirs. His eyes fluttered open, wide with wonder. I heard it, he whispered softly. It was a dream about me, about belonging. The owl teacher nodded slowly, her feathers shimmering as she folded her wings. Every dream you hear is a gift. Some are playful, some are peaceful, some are reminders of who you are. The more you listen, the more you will understand yourself and others. She lifted her wing, and the tiny stars floated back upward, returning to the ceiling where they twinkled quietly once more. A calm sigh filled the classroom, as though the walls themselves had breathed out with the children. The teacher smiled, her eyes glowing like moons. Now you know, dreams do not just happen when you sleep. They live all around you, waiting for you to listen. Ollie glanced at the golden paw print symbol glowing faintly on his cushion. It pulsed warmly, as though it, too, had heard the dream and was keeping it safe inside him. His chest filled with a new kind of calm. The nervous flutter was gone. All that remained was the quiet excitement of being part of something magical. The rabbit leaned close and whispered, "What was your dream?" Ollie smiled softly, his tail curling around him. "It was about finding my place. And tonight, I think I already am." The rabbit's ears twitched happily, and the fox gave a soft nod. Around the classroom, the children's eyes sparkled with the calm glow of the dreams they had just heard. And as the owl teacher spread her wings once more, the classroom shimmered like the night sky itself, promising that this was only the beginning of their gentle lessons in Dreamland. The owl teacher's feathers shimmered softly as she rose from her cushion, her wings spreading just enough to rustle the calm air. "Little dreamers," she said, her voice like a lullaby floating through the stars, "you have listened to the whispers of dreams. Now it is time to see where they live." The children stirred, their eyes wide with quiet wonder. The golden paw print in front of Ollie pulsed once, as if urging him to follow. Slowly, one by one, the dreamers lifted their bags and padded after their teacher. The doors of the classroom opened without a sound, swinging gently as though the night itself had been waiting to welcome them. Outside, the school courtyard shimmered beneath the starlit sky. It wasn't like any courtyard Ollie had ever imagined. Instead of stone paths, there were soft trails of cloud, glowing faintly beneath their paws. Instead of lanterns, floating globes of dreamlight drifted lazily above, pulsing like fireflies. The air was cool and carried the sweet scent of dream blooms, tiny flowers that only opened at night, each petal glowing like a tiny lantern. The little rabbit with candy cane pencils hopped ahead, her ears bouncing as she whispered, "It feels like walking in the sky." The fox padded slowly, his tail swaying as his eyes reflected the glow. "It's like the stars fell down just to guide us." The star child tilted her silver head back, her hair trailing light. "Look," she said softly, pointing upward. Above them, constellations shifted, their shapes forming gentle pictures: an open book, a singing bird, a tree with glowing branches. The owl teacher led them into the center of the courtyard, where a circle of cushions rested on a great, round cloud. In the middle of the circle stood a fountain. But instead of water, it poured streams of starlight that glowed and twinkled, splashing in complete silence. The glow from the fountain cast soft shadows across the children's faces, making their eyes sparkle. "This," the owl said, settling onto the cloud, "is the dream fountain. It holds the glow of every dream told in Dreamland. If you listen closely, you will hear them flow." Ollie sat on the edge of the circle, his golden paw print resting gently on the cushion beside him. He leaned forward, his eyes wide. The fountain's starlight shimmered brighter. And as he listened, he swore he could hear faint voices within it. A dream of flying above oceans. A dream of painting skies with rainbow light. A dream of curling in a cozy nest where the moon hummed lullabies. The voices overlapped, weaving into a melody so soft that Ollie's heart swayed with it. His whiskers twitched as he whispered, "It's beautiful. Like all the dreams are singing together." The owl nodded, her glowing eyes fixed on the children. "Dreams are never alone. They flow into one another, carrying pieces of every heart. That is what you will learn in Dreamland School. Your dream belongs to you. But it is also part of something greater." Ollie pressed a paw to his chest, but he felt it again, the warm glow inside him, the same glow from when he had listened to his own dream earlier. The fountain's light seemed to answer, pulsing in time with his heart. For the first time, Ollie didn't feel nervous at all. He felt calm, safe, and a little more certain that he belonged here. The rabbit leaned against him, her ears twitching happily. "Do you think we'll dream together too?" she asked. Ollie smiled softly, his eyes fixed on the fountain. "I think we already are." The courtyard hushed even deeper, the stars above glowing like patient guardians, and the children of Dreamland sat together in their quiet circle, their hearts open, their paws warm, their dreams beginning to flow like the fountain itself. The dream fountain glowed steadily, its streams of starlight rising and falling like a song too soft to put into words. The little dreamers sat in a quiet circle around it, each child's dream symbol glowing faintly beside them: the rabbit's tiny glowing carrot, the fox's silver flame, the star child's shimmering raindrop, and Ollie's golden paw print that pulsed like a steady heartbeat. The owl teacher tucked her wings gently around herself, her voice low and calm. "Tonight," she said, "you will share your very first dream aloud. Dreams are meant to be spoken, for when we share them, they grow stronger. There is no hurry. Each of you may take your time." The rabbit twitched her ears nervously, her paws curling against her cushion. "What if my dream sounds too small?" she whispered. The owl's eyes glowed softly. "No dream is small. Every dream is precious, because it belongs to you." The rabbit took a slow breath and closed her eyes. When she opened them again, she whispered, "I dreamed of a meadow with endless carrots, sweet and shining under the sun. I wasn't hungry in the dream, I was just happy, hopping with friends who shared them with me." The golden carrot at her side glowed brighter, and the fountain shimmered, catching her dream like a droplet of light. The fox leaned forward, his voice gentle. "That doesn't sound small at all. It sounds wonderful." Encouraged, the fox closed his eyes neck. His tail curled around him as he whispered, "I dreamed of running so fast that my paws lifted off the ground. I leapt across clouds, and the stars cheered me on as I passed." His silver flame flickered high, and the fountain caught it too, weaving it into the glowing streams. The star child smiled softly. "Your dream sounded like flying." Then it was her turn. She placed her glowing raindrop carefully in her lap and whispered, "I dreamed of floating over the sea, leaving trails of silver light behind me." The waves sang back, as though the ocean itself was happy to be lit up. The fountain swirled brighter as her dream joined the others. As for a moment the whole courtyard shimmered with silver reflections, like the sea she had described. Ollie sat quietly, his golden paw print glowing faintly beside him. His paws pressed into his cushion as he listened to his friends. The rabbit's dream was joyful, the fox's was daring, the star child's was graceful. But his chest fluttered nervously again. What if his dream didn't sound as special as theirs? The owl teacher tilted her head toward him, her eyes kind and steady. "And you, Ollie?" she asked softly. "Would you like to share?" Ollie hesitated, his paws curling against the cushion. Then he looked at the fountain, where the dreams of his classmates were glowing together, weaving into one light. He placed a paw on his golden symbol, feeling its warmth, and took a deep breath. "My dream," he whispered, "was about a great tree made of light. Around it, tiny creatures sat together, telling stories. Their voices blended like music, and I was with them, not watching from far away, and sitting beside them. I wasn't alone. I belong." His voice trembled slightly at the last word. But the fountain shimmered brighter than ever, sending ripples of golden light into the courtyard. The golden paw print at his side glowed warmly, pulsing in rhythm with his heart. The rabbit leaned closer, her eyes wide with wonder. "Ollie, that dream sounds like this, right now." "Like us." The fox nodded slowly, his tail brushing the ground. "Maybe your dream already came true." The star child smiled, her silver hair gleaming. "Or maybe it is coming true, piece by piece." Ollie's ears lifted, his chest swelling with warmth. For the first time, he didn't feel like his dream was too small or too strange. He felt it shining inside him, safe and real. The owl teacher's feathers rustled softly as she nodded. "Do you see now?" she said gently. "Dreams are not only for sleeping. They live in the moments we share, in the friends we find, and in the courage it takes to speak them aloud." The fountain quieted again, its glow settling into a calm pulse. Around it, the children sat in a hush filled not with nerves, but with the gentle calm of belonging. Ollie placed his paw back on his glowing symbol, his tail curling warmly around him. He didn't feel nervous anymore. He felt part of the dream. The dream fountain's glow softened, its shimmering streams slowing until they looked like ribbons of light gently rocking back and forth. The owl teacher folded her wings, her eyes glowing warmly as she looked at the circle of children. Around her, the rabbit, the fox, the star child, and Ollie sat with their dream symbols glowing faintly, their bodies still, their breaths slow. The courtyard was so quiet it seemed the entire sky had leaned in to listen. "You have shared your first dreams," the owl said softly, her voice carrying like a whisper on the breeze. "Now, before you go home, Dreamland has one more gift for you. Close your eyes, little ones, and let the night wrap you in its arms." One by one, the children obeyed. Ollie curled his paws into his cushion, his golden paw print glowing brighter at his side. He felt the cool breeze brush his fur, the faint hum of the dream fountain in the distance, and the steady presence of his friends around him. For a moment, he wasn't nervous, wasn't uncertain. He was simply still, part of something greater. The owl lifted her wing, and starlight drifted down from above, swirling gently around each child. The rabbit's ears twitched as a faint glow wrapped her like a blanket. The fox gave a long, calm sigh, his tail glowing faintly silver. The star child's hair shimmered as though touched by moonlight, and Ollie felt warmth flood into his chest, filling him until it seemed as though he was glowing inside out. "This is Dreamland's promise," the owl murmured. "Wherever you go, you carry this light. It will guide you through sleep, through dreams, and through every gentle tomorrow." The fountain's glow dimmed, the courtyard hushed, and when the children opened their eyes again, the stars above twinkled brighter. And though pleased with what they had shared, the owl lowered her wings and gave them a soft bow. "Your first day of Dreamland School is complete." The rabbit stood slowly, hugging her dream symbol close. The fox padded forward, his silver flame tucked neatly at his side. The star child's raindrop shimmered as she rose, her silver hair brushing her shoulders. Ollie clutched his glowing paw print, his little heart full of warmth. Together, they followed the owl back to the doorway of the classroom, then out onto the path of clouds that led them toward their homes. The night was calm as they walked. The fireflies drifted above their heads, the blossoms along the path glowed softly, and the moon hung low, casting its gentle silver blanket across the meadow. One by one, the children waved goodnight as their paths branched away, the rabbit hopping down a trail lined with clover, the fox trotting toward a den tucked under a glowing tree, the star child floating into a cluster of soft clouds. At last, Ollie reached his own little cottage, its round door glowing faintly with warmth. He stepped inside, placing his golden paw print symbol on the little shelf beside his bed of moss and feathers. His grandmother was already waiting with a soft smile, pulling a star-patterned blanket over him. "How was your first day?" she asked gently, brushing his fur with her paw. Ollie's eyes sparkled as he whispered, "I dreamed out loud, and I wasn't alone." His grandmother kissed his forehead and whispered, "Then Dreamland has already given you its greatest lesson." As Ollie curled into his bed, the glow of his golden paw print filled the room with a soft, steady light. His eyelids grew heavy, his breath slow and deep. The fountain's hum, the rabbit's laughter, the fox's courage, the star-child's glow, all of it swirled through his mind like feathers floating in the air. He dreamed again of the great tree of light. But this time he wasn't wondering if he belonged. He sat with his friends beneath its glowing branches, their voices weaving together like a lullaby. His little paws glowed with golden light, steady and certain. And as the stars twinkled above the cottage, Dreamland whispered to Ollie and to every child listening, "You are safe. You are loved. You are never alone. Your dreams are waiting for you tonight." The stars blinked softly. The moon lowered slowly. And Dreamland and